We're live. We are live. We are live. We are live. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So I want to thank you all for joining. Even if you don't get a chance to see this now, you'll definitely see it later. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the mentorship program that I'm going to be hosting on Patreon for the benefit of students. For anyone who wants to learn administrative law, we're going to be taking some pretty deep dives into my study techniques. We're going to be taking a pretty deep dive into certain school of thought, or schools of thought, more than one, because there are several that we should pay attention to when it comes to our study of the law. So what I'm going to do is offer you guys a tiered mentorship program, so that when you start to learn, you won't be necessarily relying on yourself or any one person to sort of tell you the truth about what's going on or the right way to do certain things. What I'm going to be doing is equipping you to understand the law in a full enough context so that you'll be able to seek after the information properly yourself, okay? Because I have an issue with some of the different methods and techniques that we use right now to start learning and studying. So my goal is to make sure that we are attacking the task from a higher perspective in a way that's going to allow us to have better results. All right, so I wrote out a list. It's a decent list about the things I'm going to be teaching you guys and some of the topics I want to touch on. I'm going to give you guys a brief peek into what the program will look like once you get onto Patreon and what the different levels are going to include. So for the people who will be on the lower tier, I'll talk about the lower tier first. So the people who are going to be on the lower tier, you won't have access to group mentorship discussions and the homework that I'm giving to the group students. You won't have access to the playlists and certain things like that, but you'll have access to do document reviews with me. Okay, so one of the most important things that we are doing right now with our private administration is we are using documents that are very weighty, okay, that they're heavy things that are being said and being done with these documents. Okay, so I want to give you an opportunity in which I'm giving you a pretty decent opportunity to come and discuss with me the documents that you're creating and the documents that you're sending out to people, you know, or different agencies to do different things. Okay, so that's the first tier. I think that one starts off at $22. Let me see, because every month, this is what. Let me go here and see what I did for my tiers. Okay, here we go. The tiers are really important, okay, because the document review, I'm trying to find how, y'all, I don't know how to work Patreon very much. I'm trying to find the tiers and I don't see them. Where are they? But anyway, I'll tell you guys about the tiers later once I can find out how to go see them. But what I want you to just know about the tier is that you are able to come in with your documents. You can either have your document already prepared, or you can ask me to help you to create and prepare your document as a part of this subscription. Okay, so let's just say you have something that you want to do, you just don't necessarily know how to say it using the proper language, then you would use that tier of a subscription. Be mindful also that you can combine the tiers if you want. If you want to combine the tiers, you can do that. You would just need to be clear about which one is going to serve you the most, and that'll be, you know, just your guide or whatever. So for the second tier, this is for beginner learners. Okay, so if you kind of already know about your documents, or even if you don't, if you just want to get actual access to educational material that's going to be guided so that you understand like I said, a deeper understanding, you walk away with a deeper understanding of the information, then you might want to go into the second tier. The second tier really allows you to have better discussions, okay? A lot of people online will give you a very limited access to their intellectual property when it comes to doing things. You know, when you're in the study groups online, more than likely you're in the comments and you're asking questions and you're getting a lot of attitude or even a lot of helpful information sometimes. You're probably getting a mix of both, because I typically get the mix of both. Where you have people that are genuinely going to teach you, and you have people who are genuinely going to offer you some insight, but then you'll have situations where no one may be able to actually give you the insight that you're looking for. So Serve Inc. is equipped with a lot of different resources to help alleviate that process of learning, where you might come in and say, all right, I need help. Please give me your ideas. Please tell me what you think will happen. But people are guarded with those things, especially if they found success with them. They're not necessarily going to come out and just say, this is how I did X, Y, and Z, and give you a template and show you and send you everything that they have. Everybody's not going to be, open to doing that. So for us, we have not only the mentorship program, but we also have a free platform where you can join our research projects. And it will just give you even more support so that you can learn on a project-based format. Like, you have a project in front of you, you have one goal in mind, and everything you're doing, all the research, all the discussions, they're all focused on that one project. In my experience, learning the administrative law, just the administrative process, that has been the easiest thing for me, because I know the law is going to be there no matter what. I can always research the law and figure out what it is. But the administrative process is different. The administrative process says that you need to know it. Okay? You need to know the administrative process in order for you to execute it, or for you to administer. There's not going to be any shortcut there for you. Now, one of the things I like to focus on with teaching is that your research is really going to determine the quality of your education. If you're not a dedicated researcher, then you're going to want to at least have access to interpretations of research, okay? So that you can understand why the information is being delivered to you, why it's being delivered to you. So that you can have some background information about it. So the tiers on Patreon at the beginner level will allow you to have that support. It will allow you to come in with a project in mind. It will allow you to take that project-based learning and discuss it with me, someone who is more experienced with research and actually trained to research. You'll have access to your peers, those people who are probably successful researchers and probably successful students, because they're in this capacity. Most of us are already successful in one way or another. We just need support. Okay. And so the third tier is for strategists. Okay. If you are a strategist and you are looking to employ a strategy and you need support, because let's just say you're starting a project, okay, and you don't necessarily know how to administrate it, you can subscribe so that you can bring those types of needs to the group, okay, especially to me, so that we can sit and talk about your strategy. You'll have exclusive access so that you won't have to pay any fees, or you won't have to donate anything. You'll just have a subscription. And under that subscription, you'll be able to talk about your estate plan with someone, first of all, who can understand the language. Okay, I speak in contracts. Most of the language that I use is contract language. Some of the people on a lot of the study groups that you're already in will tell you, if they know me personally, they know I speak in contract language. That's how I communicate, especially on this type of platform. So if you're looking for contract strategies, if you're looking for administrative strategies, if you're looking for estate planning strategies, then this is where you want to be, on the third tier. The third tier is I think $55. If I'm not mistaken, it's like $22 for the first tier, $33 for the second tier, and $55 for the third tier, if I'm not mistaken. So on this third tier where you're getting strategy, first of all, There is nobody in this world that's going to give you the type of strategies I'm going to give you for $55 a month. Let's just to be clear about that. Let's just be clear about that. There's nobody that's going to give you the type of education that I'm about to give you, okay, for this $55 a month. So when you're talking about strategy, okay, when you're talking about strategy, what you want to do is remember that your life plan is going to take your whole life to execute, okay? Your estate plan is a plan for life. It's not something that you're going to be able to just do for a couple of months and then set it down like it doesn't exist anymore. No, you're going to be doing this consistently throughout your whole life. So with this subscription for $55 a month, you'll be able to bring that estate plan back to me and we'll build on it, okay, methodically, making sure that there is a system, making sure that there are structures that have a purpose in your estate plan, not just something that you have, like I said, willy-nilly just kind of threw it together and then set it to the side thinking that it was going to protect you or thinking that it was going to have your best interest in mind. This is not how estate planning works. This is not how administrative law or having a private system of governance, how that's going to work. What you're going to need to do is make sure that you have access like you would have access to a financial advisor. You'll need someone that speaks the language and who can actually give you the, who can actually give you the insight that you're going to need in order to execute that plan. I wish I could take y'all to see some of what's on Patreon right now, but it looks like my screen has kind of gone crazy. But the people who are on Instagram, I'm gonna just tell you guys. All right, so taking a closer look at the 1099A and C. This is one of the things that we have for our beginner students and our advanced students. Okay, so for the strategists, having the 1099A and the 1099C conversation, okay, it's going to help you enhance whatever your structures. It's going to help you enhance your structures to be able to understand what these forms do. If anybody ever tells you that they don't file any IRS tax returns or they don't file any information returns with the IRS, and they also tell you that they're discharging things, don't believe. I don't think that that's a wise thing to believe in, because that's really the way that you do it. Okay, if you're discharging something, you're doing that by way of those treasury accounting transactions. Okay, so make sure that you know that if you are putting your trust in anybody, okay, that you are also researching yourself. And I'm pretty sure that you guys are sharp enough to know that. But it has to be said, because I believe there are plenty of times where if we don't say something, then it's like people don't remain mindful of it. So we have to get ourselves to a place where we're remembering just the basic things. It's easy to go and get an answer from somebody. Okay, it's very easy to go and get an answer from somebody, but for you to get the answer and still look for the answer, okay, that is what is going to determine your success. Because being a private administrator it's going to take your resourcefulness mentally. It's going to take your critical thinking mentally. Okay, so I said I was going to give you guys this list of things that we'll be talking about when we kind of engage in this mentorship environment. Okay, so we're going to be talking first of all about why you shouldn't pay to learn from somebody. If you're going to pay to learn from somebody, you have to remember that it's on you to learn. So don't ever pay somebody to learn something that is going to, hey, what's up? So don't ever pay somebody that's going to teach you something that you can go learn yourself. See, the way I design my educational resources is for you to be equipped to find out things for yourself. I'm just teaching you and pointing you in the direction to go and do that. So that way you have a basis or a foundation for your seeking. Okay. So like I said, we're going to be talking about different schools of thought, making sure that we know, as far as administrative law is concerned, how are we building on our reasons? How are we building on the purpose of why we're learning administrative law? if we are here to say that I want to learn private administrative law, then we have to know what is up under that. Okay. Where does administrative law come from? Where does any form of law come from? We're going to talk about the different schools of thought that build up law, because there are different versions of it. So for us to be well versed at that, we have to go down to the foundation and pick up on what school of thought is this birth from. So that way we can have better, like I said, better understanding of why we're doing what we're doing. Okay. Results are not guaranteed for a reason. Okay. So when we have services, especially when we pay for service, a lot of us get burned in these transactions because there is no guarantee. There's no guarantee on how successful a person can be when they are helping us. And there's a reason for that. Because as we just discussed, it's on you to produce this type of research, to produce the answers to your questions. So on top of that, a person who you're paying to help cannot control what's going on in the environment. Okay, we know that there are agents out there. We know that there are people out there who will willfully disregard the law, who will not process certain things, who will not allow the process or due diligence to be executed. And whoever you're paying can't do anything about that. And I think that that's a pretty basic form of appreciation for our service providers. Okay, so telling you what to do is really a problem if you've paid for somebody. And we're going to kind of go into that, why we should not be coming to other people asking them what to do. Okay, so project-based learning is something that we just talked about. Dynamic project-based learning, having one goal as your motivation to learn things, so that you are not just overwhelmed with data. Okay, if you're overwhelmed with information, more than likely it's going to be a lot harder for you to retain the information, especially if you're not passionate about what you're looking for. Okay, connecting the dots. Really, when you are connecting the dots, it is highly based on your terminology and what you're looking for. It's just like when you put in keywords in Google, you have to Google the right keywords in order for you to get the results that you're looking to get, right? Okay, well, this is no different. So when we're talking about learning administrative law, we have to learn administrative language. Okay, because if we don't know administrative language, okay, then we don't know what we're looking for. We don't know what to put into our research if we don't have the administrative law or the administrative terminology to apply to that. Got it? All right. So we're going to talk about also contracts, expressing yourself in your contracts and being able to build up that terminology or that legal language so that you can express yourself. And I'm pretty sure many of you are sharp enough to know that law comes in these two kind of bifolded natural characteristics, whereas you have express law and you have implied law. Okay, express law and implied law, they're both going to impact how you write your contracts and how you're able to enforce your contracts. So expressing yourself in your contracts is definitely going to be your most beneficial form of enforcement. All right. So expressing yourself is going to be a pivot, or I should say a key focus in some of our education materials. Why learn about equity and law claims? Okay. Why are you learning about equity, or I should say equity law, and why are you learning about claims? All right. So, of course, this comes down to money. This is a commercial type system. It's a commercial based system. So the only thing that we're going to be doing is talking about how the money is connected to the equity. OK, and how the claims give you access to said money through the equity. OK. All right. So how to reverse engineer your solutions. OK, we're talking about what does it mean, all right, for you to get involved in your research in such a way that you can take something that wasn't meant for you and re-engineer it into something that is serving your goals, serving your research goals. I'm pretty sure y'all know what reverse engineering is, but we're going to talk about how to do that in the law. Got me? Reverse engineering the law is really interesting because, like I'll show you, for example, my purpose is to administrate law privately, right? And to take the highest advantage over creditors or people who are alleged creditors And my goal is to take advantage of the law so that it benefits my application, my administration of the law, right? So this book was written by an agent. This book was written by a commercial law attorney. Well, I should say credit and collection law attorney and his son. This book was written by them as attorneys for attorneys. Okay. And what I'm doing, because I'm not an attorney, but I want to know what the attorneys are doing. I want to know what the attorneys know. I want to know how they move. I want to know how they administer law, right? Because what am I going to do? I'm going to reverse engineer this book, and I'm going to start administrating law according to what I know about what they're doing, right? Good stuff. So moving on, we're going to do a couple of topics about why you don't need to know the federal code. There are some people out there who are very impressive. Okay, I'm talking about very impressive with the way that they can call out their citations of law. Okay, different citations of law. They can, recite the Code of Federal Regulations, the UCC. They can cite, the IRC. They can cite it all. They can just go in. And you're like, oh my God, these people are sharp. I'll never get like that. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't need to. Okay, that is very fancy and it's very cool. It's like a show trick, and I mean that in no disrespectful way at all, but it is a show trick, and it's not something that it doesn't really mean anything. And the reason why is because coming from somebody who has federal training, I worked for the Internal Revenue Service for 8 years, and I was trained to research. Okay, I was trained to research this highly technical data and to interpret it according to what the data is saying and, instructing me to do in my daily duty. Okay, so with me having that experience for so long, I was able to understand why they trained us the way they did. First of all, because the law is so voluminous. Okay, we're going by several different bodies of law in order for us to just process whatever case is in front of us. If I get this case and it says, okay, this is what I want to happen, this is my request, then I have to go and find through all of these different law forms and all these different codes how to just do this one thing. Okay, and so this is the reason why we're doing project-based learning. This is the reason why project-based learning is going to be an asset to you in your estate planning. It's because you don't have to know the law. You just need to know how to find it. You need to know how to research the thing that you're working on in your project-based learning experience, okay? So follow me when I tell you that that's going to really lift a heavy load off your shoulders if you're serious about learning about private administration. It's going to definitely lighten your load. Okay, so those are just some of the things we're going to talk about. I got a whole list of stuff, y'all. This list is probably twice the size of what I've already discussed. But the point is, I want you to go ahead and use the link that you have for Patreon. If you don't have it on Instagram, I'll post it in the comments so you can get the link and go ahead and subscribe to whatever tier you think is going to be most beneficial to you. And then I will just start doing, sessions with you guys so that you'll have that exclusive learning content. It will be available as soon as you guys start to subscribe. Okay, I'm not going to get on here and start teaching until some people have actually subscribed to the program. So with that being said, we already have some stuff. All right, we already have some stuff on here. Like I said, learning about the 1099. We're talking about discussions, let's say. Okay, I got this thing about common law. Okay, what to do with an injunction or how to do an injunction, tax forms and studies, focusing on trust. There's a poll that I'm taking for just your general information. Oh yeah, those prices are right. $22, $33, and $55. We're going to be talking about tax system basics. This is just the stuff that's already on here for us to go over. So just remember that there's a link you can click somewhere depending on where you are. If you're listening to the Spirit of Business for this, you'll see a link in the episode description. Okay, and so that's really it. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this little kickoff chat that I've had with you guys. And I do look forward to working more closely with you guys, especially because this is a journey. Okay, this is a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey. It's not going to come to you overnight. It's not going to be something that you will, you know, sort of ever master, because it's such a wide study. It's such a wide area of study. But I will say that you can become an expert in your field. If you have a specialty, I would suggest that you, you know, trust that your specialty will do quite a bit for you in your life. So go ahead and choose a specialty and get started. Okay, get started with your administration of law, because it's very exciting for you to be able to read through this whole big old book, digest this information, and then start moving with it. Do you know how exciting it is to be able to start moving with this stuff? As soon as you have, you know, understood what it's talking about, there's nothing like it, okay? When your mom tells you that knowledge is power, oh my God. When I tell you, where is the lie? Where is the lie? Knowledge is power, y'all. So we can ready to get started. Like I said, I look forward to working with you guys, and I hope to see you on Patreon. Okay? Peace, y'all. I'm glad I did that right.